I've realized that self-improvement is actually just pleasing God. So you get my point, guys. God gave us a purpose. And once you realize this, bro, once you realize that God gave us a purpose, your self-improvement progress will 10x. I was sat in a conversation with one of my bros and I criticized him because he was doing like some Jeffrey habits even though he's like trying to improve and everything. And he got like with this Sigma male voice that said self-improvement isn't about judgment. Self-improvement is about being a better version of your younger self. Bro, shut your bitch ass up with this cringy Instagram Reels quote or some bullshit, bro. Anyways, I proved him wrong afterwards in the conversation, obviously. But that doesn't even matter. After I got back to home and everything, I kept thinking of what is the definition of self-improvement. Like we never define this stuff, bro. We're dedicating our whole lives to like share this message and everything. And we never like sat down to think of like what's the definition of self-improvement, bro. Now if you asked me like a year ago when I just started this stuff, I'll say like self-improvement is just improving every pillar of your life, your looks, your relationships, business, etc., and get to the point where you could live a happy life. And you probably said the same thing. You probably had like the same definition in mind. But now, after I've leveled up my faith in God more, read more Quran and never missed my prayers in the mosque, I've realized that self-improvement is actually just pleasing God. Because now I think of it, everything that I'm doing all day to improve is just to please God. It's just to achieve something positive for this world and please God, get to heaven. So I realized that we're doing all of this just to please God. Just do this exercise with me. Why do you meditate? Well, so I can be mentally healthy and focus more. Why do you want to be mentally healthy and focus more? Well, so I can do my work better and achieve more. Why do you want to achieve more? Well, so I can fulfill my purpose and help others. Why do you want to fulfill your purpose and help others? Well, because that's my purpose. No, it's not. It's because you're trying to please God. You're trying to do a positive thing for this world so you can please God. If you actually believe in God and doing self-improvement for positive things. So you get my point, guys. God gave us a purpose. I've talked about purpose like multiple times in my channel and like discover your purpose, look at your whoa, and like say it goes. But those are like a degree before this. This is the deepest purpose. This is the deepest purpose that God gave us, which is to worship Him, please Him, and get to heaven. Like God says in Quran, مَا خَلَقْتُ الْإِنسَ وَالْجِنَّ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. That means that God just made the humans and fairies. I don't know if it's like the right description of jinn, because jinn could be devils, but that's not my point for the day. Just to worship Him. But worship doesn't have to be just by praying. If you do your work and you provide for your family and you make a family, and literally even the sex that you have with your wife and everything you're trying to improve, if it actually leads to that purpose, is worship, at least as we believe. And so it's not just praying. Everything that you're trying to do to improve here, every positive thing that will lead to that purpose and pleasing God, that's literally worship. And so like self-improvement might be worshiping God at this point. And so this is our deepest purpose. This is the reason that you do all your work for. This is the reason that you're watching this video and you're trying to improve and you haven't clicked off already like most people did. This is the purpose that you've been born with. And once you realize this, bro, once you realize that God gave us a purpose since we were born, your self-improvement progress will 10x. And this is what I've talked about in this video. Get into Islam will 10x your progress, will 10x your patience, will 10x your motivation, and will 10x your commitment to never do any bad habit, because most of them are sinned in Islam. And even if they're not sinned, just feeling the awareness of God, just feeling the God watching you throughout the day will make you 10 times more committed to cure any addiction. And besides that, your confidence will 10x because you're relying on God on it. You know that you're doing something positive. You know that you're trying to help others and please God. And so your confidence will 10x. It's actually like a confident hack, bro. If you're trying to please God, you will be 10 times more confident than you are now. And not to mention that praying will help you schedule your time and make you 10 times more productive. Because this always happened to me. I'm like being productive as hell at the start of the day and I'm achieving stuff and I'm going cool, I'm not making mistakes. But after a while, I might make some mistakes. I might draft away from the like productive direction and like stop procrastinating, get triggered to fap or maybe fap and feel somewhat anxious after I've done it. But then I hear the adhan and I'll go pray. And it's just reshifting you to the right path. And I'm back on track again. It's insane, bro. It's almost impossible to not be productive if you're going to the masjid or not half-assing your prayers. It's almost impossible. Because if you do bad shit between prayer and prayer, maybe like you wasted time, maybe you made a lot of mistakes, maybe you acted depressed, maybe you might have sweared and you might have even done some huge sins. And so you go ask God for forgiveness, and boom, you're back on track again. And even better, if you've been productive between prayer and you achieved a lot and you're happy with the things that you've done, you go to the prayer and thank God and ask Him for more so you can be more productive. Like, it's almost impossible, especially physically impossible, to not be productive if you're doing your 5 prayers and taking them seriously and not half-assing them. And besides that, you feel 10 times more stable. If you like taking risk with your business or something, and like things have gone wrong with your work and your relationships, and you made a lot of mistakes, and just things are not going fine, and you need to be stable so you can take care of the problem. But when you level up your faith, you realize that God accepted this to happen for you. God accepted this. Like, think of it. If God accepted it, of course I have to accept it. Because I made sure that I've stopped doing every sinful stuff. I made sure that I'm doing my obligations to Him. And so once you know that, you just accept it and deal with the problems that you have because God accepted them for you. And your anxiety and depression will go like this once you realize that. And better than all of the things I've talked about, I made a whole video about this. If you dedicate time to God, God will save you more time. And this is always true, bro. I've gone through hundreds of these scenarios. I've gone through hundreds of these scenarios where I keep confirming this to myself. Every time I dedicate more time to God and I go to the masjid, even if I didn't feel like it, and I do those extra stuff, God saves me more time. Don't believe me, bro? Go watch that video if you want, where I show you like a couple stories that will confirm this. And here's the problem. You guys are missing out on this 10x XP boost. I know you guys start leveling up your looks, your business, your relationships, your social skills, etc. but forgot to level up your faith, which is the thing that's gonna 10x all the progress they've already made. Bro, do you know when you play video games and you have like an XP bar and there's like a floating 10x XP on the air? This is it. This is what feels leveling up your faith. You finally get that thing that would 10x your XP. But what means when I don't have time for it now? Bro, shut the hell up. You're dedicating 20 minutes every single day to do like some random facial exercises to build your jaw muscles, and you didn't even dedicate like 5 minutes to start to read in Quran. And this will give you 100 times more ROI than these jawline exercises that you're doing. And so don't cope with me. Quran is actually like the best self-help book. It's better than Marcus Meditations. It's better than The Magic of Thinking Big or some bullshit. It's not even comparable, bro. If you combined all those authors combined and gave them like 1,000 years period, they wouldn't even make Quran. Like, how could you still know that and not dedicate 10 minutes every night to read like a couple pages of Quran? How could you not do that? Like, come on, bro. I will link a translated version of Quran in the description. And I want you to start with just 5 minutes now. Before you do any work, before you click off, before you go watch that podcast that's popping up there, just take 5 minutes to read Quran and make sure that you build the habit to read it before you sleep. And so go click on that link, start reading. And if you want a more step-by-step way on how to get on Islam, I found that this guy's videos explains it well, especially for 4-year-olds that doesn't even know about God. And even better, if you want me to personally help you with this and level up your faith in God, you could book my coaching. I've linked it in the description. But only do it after you start reading Quran. And as always, boys, there is no time when you're ready to take action.